a podcast created by two guys brought together by movement, transformed into brotherhood. The boys share their authenticity as they deep dive into what it means to explore this human experience. Shedding light on personal trials and accumulated wisdom, Conscious Collingwood is meant to provoke thought and insight to expand your personal awareness. Come along for the journey as Justin and Jeff exemplify what it means to be a man living wholeheartedly, balancing the divine, masculine, and feminine. Welcome to Conscious Collingwood.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so this is podcast numero uno. The intro.
The legitimate start.
The beginning.
Well, kick us off, homeboy.
Well, this is an idea we had to really deepen, I think, our knowledge, but also maybe share some knowledge with others. And I think I've definitely come to the realization that it is quite nerve-wracking to share your opinion or share your voice, but it's really just a perspective, and your perspective resonates with so many more people than you would even realize. So yeah, I'm just excited to sit down with you and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Talk about things that we like to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, worst case is an excuse for you and I to chat.
Yeah.
On camera.
Just hang out. We're weird.
Yeah. I think we'll get into maybe how we met, and then we'll get into some bio stuff. But I think how this came up, because I think I was legitimately thinking about it, but I think you were coming home from a wedding.
I was driving to the wedding, yeah.
To the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get this voice note from Justin. Dude, I think, and you really didn't do it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I was, tired of the 7-minute long voice notes back and forth, and it was just like, let's just start talking.
Yeah.
In front of the camera.
Yeah, and I think through experience of the folks at Everlove and our network outside of that, I know even just sitting at the hot tub at home sometimes, it's like, God, I wish more people could be involved in this conversation. Mm-hmm. I think they'd enjoy it, Mm-hmm. Whether it's sitting with my wife Terry or my brother Dan, brother-in-law Steve, it's just, we call it the cauldron because there's some crazy, you're sitting in this boiling tub of water and you just there's some crazy conversations and ideas that come out of it. So yeah, we call it the cauldron.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm stoked, honestly. So to get into the bio, I was in construction for 12 years or whatever, and it was like drywall, steel stud framing, interior systems mechanic is actually the trades word, and it's what I got my red seal in, and worked in that for 12 years, and it was just a grind. I learned how to work really hard and some amazing skills, worked with my hands, and got into a leadership role very quickly, really thrived in leadership. And then it got to the point where I grew up with like asthma, allergies to dairy, gluten, nuts, shellfish, the whole list.
Yeah.
If there was an allergy,
everything on the
I
test.
Had it. And through construction, my health got worse and worse and worse, just because there's so many, and as you age, you start taking on more responsibility, and the more responsibility you take on is the more stress that you're inevitably going to take on. So the stress got higher, my nutrition, my lifestyle got worse and worse, and it got to the point where I had anxiety and it was really tough to deal with. So my last resort was go to my doctor and say like, hey, can we cure asthma? And he was like, oh, I don't, he's under insurance and other reasons, so he can't allude to if it's even possible. So he said no. I was like, great, I'll figure it out myself. And so within a year of looking into like holistic health and other practices, I was off all medication, no anxiety, no asthma for and I've had it for 25 years. I was taking a puffer 6 to 7 times a day, and it was insane. Steroids, all the things. So just cleaning up my diet, retraining how I breathe, and some other factors, general fitness, I was able to overcome the limitations that I had in most of my life. And then I was like, wow, I got to share this with the world. So I found one of the guys I was learning from was named Paul Chek. And so he had an institute of holistic health, corrective exercise kinesiology, and holistic lifestyle coaching to become a holistic health practitioner. So it's a multifaceted program where we learn psychology, anatomy, kinesiology, movement science, and then just holistic health, from farming to the water you drink, to the way you breathe, to your thoughts and how it informs the body, organs, glands, systems, all that kind of stuff. So very in depth. I applied, I got in, and I was in the school for 5 years.
Wow.
And now and then my best friends were like, do you want to move up to Collingwood? We bought a yoga studio. And I was like, let's go. I was it was the perfect storm, and now in October I'll be here for 2 years, which is exciting.
Wow.
I love it here. And yeah, we built this yoga studio and started from nothing, which was an amazing journey just to watch a community flourish. And that's how, we met. It was just, you had the courage to come to a class.
I did, yeah. Well, and jumping into maybe how we met, and then I'll share my side. But I was there to see Patrick, the osteopath upstairs, and I was referred to him by my mom and my brother, and I thought, okay, I'll go experience Patrick because I heard so many great things. And it was a great experience. But at the same time, yoga was calling me. I want to get into it. And I've been working on my mind, body, spirit for a number of years, the self-development world. And for some reason, yoga was kind of screaming at me. And so there's a few of them in Collingwood, so I just didn't know really where to start. So after seeing Patrick and knowing there's a studio downstairs, I met two lovely ladies at the front, and they were so warm and welcoming. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it here. So I, bought a trial package or whatever, got to my first session. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then shortly after a few flows, I think I was introduced to your classes or saw them on the schedule. And the next thing you know, I'm in Justin's strength class, and it's like, this is different than just going to the gym and pumping weights. A lot of functional movement, exercise, etc. Music's pumping, it's a good time. And it's been beautiful to witness the community you've grown and how your program's evolved a little bit, and you're using your experience and your intuition to massage things and change things. It's pretty fun. So and I think it just organically happened where we are aligned, and through conversation here and there, and there's probably a little bit more to the story, but that's my recollection.
I think you're just drawn to people with similar values, and I think we both worked in the trades, and there's a resonance there, so we just jive. And
there's an energy, I like to put my best foot forward when I'm working out and trying to put my head down and recognizing what you can do with your body, and you live through your actions. You're not just sharing and preaching, you're actually living what you preach. So I think that's where the resonance is too. It's like you're not full of shit.
Gotta live in
which
integrity.
Is exactly the word I was just going to use. This guy's authentic. He's not so that's pretty cool. What brought me to where I am now? I'm just turned 40 this past year, and I feel more fit and healthy than I ever have, and it feels really good, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I am born and raised in Collingwood, unlike you. You're new. Another one of these migrants. But born and raised, the typical small town hockey player. Was an okay hockey player. I didn't really grow fast enough, so I pivoted to golf and got really serious with that. I started working at a golf course when I was 13 years old, the local Duntroon Highlands family-owned course. And that family pretty much raised me as I was at that property almost every day in the summertime for probably 8 years. I was a decent junior golfer, but I recognized quickly that I didn't have the skill set, if you will, to really live out of my car and make it make it my real dream. But I always loved working on the golf course. I loved cutting turf, managing the golf course, etc. And so my boss there, mentor Jason, suggested I go to University of Guelph, and so I went there in 2003 or so, and 2 years later graduated with a diploma in turf grass management. And then right out of school, I got a job at Lower Bay, a new golf course being built out in Thornbury, and I was there for 5 years, and it was almost, the best years of my life. Like, I learned so much about growing in that golf course and the construction process of a golf course. Like, it was, there's a lot of invaluable lessons I learned, both good and bad. But I did get laid off twice in 5 years, and so I recognized early on, I guess you could say in my 20s, that I was just a number on a spreadsheet. And I've always had a drive, and I wouldn't say an entrepreneurial mindset, but I've always taken initiative. And it was at that point that I was like, I need to take control of my life, because I'm just, I can't rely on someone else to take care of me. And when I got laid off the second time, Terry, my wife, we were somewhat newlyweds, but we had a new 3-month-old daughter at home. And so that was pretty challenging, being laid off. I didn't tell Terry for 2 weeks that I'd lost my job, because I couldn't let her worry that we didn't have any income. And so yeah, I had a job. I ended up becoming a contractor for a local window and door company, and did that trade for a couple years. And I actually really enjoyed the trade, but it just didn't light me up. And I was like, I don't want to be climbing a ladder until I'm 50. It was just, it was a stepping stone for me. And then so realizing that I wanted something different, I had stumbled across artificial turf. We had bought a house with a larger property. I was like, I want to build a backyard golf green. And then realizing real turf wasn't realistic, I started getting into synthetic products, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So that's how Ike's Turf, my landscape business, was formed. So 12 years later, I'm just actually phasing away from that. We're actually sitting in the golf club that Terry and I created about 3 years ago. And this was out of a necessity to get me off my hands and knees. And again, I was feeling a pull to do something different. And it also allowed her to leave her job at the school board. And so now we're a great team, and we have a great group of staff and great community that supports us here. And it's a beautiful place. And it's been a good time. And so for me now, entrepreneurship has taught me so much that, like you and your health, for me it's both, but it's also, I want to give back to those that need it, because I struggled a lot on my own. I did work with a coach, so I'm sure we'll get into that stuff later on, but I think my learning process could have been a lot more efficient if I had asked for help a lot sooner. And so now I'm at a point where I am launching a coaching business, mentorship business, and want to support those that are looking for it. Because like you, it feels like a gift, and if I don't give back, it's being wasted. It's not meant for me to hold on to, and so that's kind of where I'm at now. So again, the Everlove community draws us together, and we've met so many great people through that community, and it's just witnessing what you do and how you help. It's what I want to do, but I guess a little bit differently.
Same. Yeah, we're both coaches. It is, but in two different kind of ways.
Yeah.
I'm the movement, health, physiology, and how the mind also. I think the mind and the body are two sides of the same coin. But yeah, and then your wisdom and life coaching piece, and how you're able to use your voice is very powerful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, your wisdom, I mean, you're pretty wise for a young buck. You're
yeah. A lot of you learn when, see, I was that kid where it was like I had to touch the fire to know it was hot. And so you learn real quick, and you learn a lot. But I gained wisdom because I learned really quickly that if you do a lot more listening than you do speaking, you take in a lot more wisdom and learn from the wise people around you instead of trying to prove yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
You're really not proving yourself to them. If you just listen more, it's highly effective.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're really just gonna have conversation and talk about things that we're really into, which is self-development, things going on in our community, Collingwood,
Yeah.
and surrounding areas, and just share our perspective.
Yeah, I love when, and who knows if the name will stick forever, I'm sure it will, but when you mentioned it, it screams the conscious Collingwood. I do love it. And again, being born and raised here, there is something about this community. There's something that draws people here, obviously. They've run out of land to develop. Mm-hmm. The only way to build now, for the most part, is going vertical. So everybody wants to be here, and there's a portal here or something, because it is such a beautiful space. We got this 4-season community, and lots of good people here, and more arriving, right? And so I'm looking forward to the time when we'll get guests on and we can poke and prod and have other people share, and others that influence the community, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm stoked for them to sit right in the middle.
We'll have to rearrange the velvet couches here a little bit, but
yeah. That's awesome.
All right, brother. Well, I think that's a good intro.
That's it.
Yeah.
Great.
And
hopefully this camera worked the whole time.
Yeah. We have done a couple of dry runs, just so you know, and things have gone well, but we've had some camera
We
issues.
have camera trauma.
Camera trauma, so.
We spent a lot of time talking.
And good content, too.
Yeah, great content.
But we'll
begin again.
That's right.
It'll be even better now.
Begin again. All right.
The way we finish. I don't know how to finish it.
No. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for being with us. We love recording these podcasts. If you know anyone who would resonate with today's episode, we would be grateful if you would share it with them. If you have any questions or comments, do not be shy and reach out. We would love to connect with you. Until next time, be well, love yourself, and live consciously.